Hunter Biden happens to be the most irresponsible criminal of all time and left his laptop at a computer repair shop. So we have all sorts of insight as to what he was doing. We also have all sorts of insight into what his business partners were saying at the time. You can say Hunter acted on his own with some of this. You can say, oh, well, Joe Biden didn't know any of this. But you can't say there's no evidence. You can say there's no definitive proof. You can say, well, I've got excuses for this and excuses for that, but saying there's no evidence is completely insane. Let me give you some of this. Let's go back in time a little bit. Back in the debate, Joe Biden on stage with Donald Trump accusing him and Hunter Biden of bringing in money from China. Claims that we know now have real backing to them. Joe Biden said on stage the opposite. Biden and his son earned no money from China. His son says otherwise. Joe Biden's comment that Hunter Biden made no money in China was made in the course of a contentious debate in which he rebutted a number of false claims made by Trump. Yet, he made his statement in response to a direct question from the moderator. It's possible he purposely, listen how, this is the Washington Post fact check. Look how much they reached to try to justify this claim for Biden. It's possible that he purposely tailored his answer to just the period when he was vice president. But Biden has never been known for such parsing of language. The president tends to be sloppier in his phrasing, which often gets him into trouble. The fact remains that Biden, during the debate, denied his son made money from China. In court last week, his son has said he earned hundreds of thousands of dollars from Chinese business deals. Four Pinocchios, even from the Washington Post, even as they try to, all sorts of gymnastics tricks to justify what they're talking about and how it's not all that bad. Now, the House GOP, again, they're saying no evidence. The House GOP released bank records on Hunter Biden payments from Russian oligarchs. The total cleared $20 million. Now, the response to this by the media and the left was to say, well, they showed $20 million being transferred to all sorts of members of the Biden family, but not directly to Joe. Where's the proof? Where's the evidence of the transfer to Joe? First of all, are we children? Are we children here? The guy's vice president of the United States. He's not gonna get a Venmo from some Russian oligarch. That's not how this works. Yes, it's gonna go to his very shady family members, all of whom seem to be involved in some corrupt part of this, including his brother, who's knee-deep, at least according to multiple articles and books, honestly, that cover this stuff. But go beyond that for a second here. Think about if you're Hunter Biden and you have a dad like Joe Biden, what's that relationship like? Joe has a very troubled child. He's got grandkids all over the place. He's got family members. He's the one that can bring in the bacon, right? He's the one with the name. He's the one with the reputation. So what do you do with that information? You don't transfer the money directly to Joe. What's Joe going to do with it? He's an 80-year-old guy. He's an old man who is not only old, but also already wealthy. So he can buy whatever he wants. So what's going to happen to this money? At some point, Joe Biden is not going to be able to use it anymore. I got news for you. We all get to that situation at some point, and that money's going to be transferred to the exact people it got transferred to in the memo. Like, that is the end of the road for this money. It's going to go to Hunter Biden anyway. So why would you direct it to Joe first so he could, give an inheritance to Hunter in 5 years or 10 years or God only knows when? The point is, obviously, this is how you would hide it. You would also hide it by creating shell companies for all of your relatives, with the exception of the one you just acknowledged last week. I mean, keep an eye out in the business filings for a new Navy Corp as an overseas operation, because that one's coming soon, I can tell you that. So where else is this money going to go? Now, you might say, okay, well, we don't really have evidence for sure. And look, again, I want the high standard here, especially for the president. I mean, we all know that there's going to be fake accusations going at the other side, and some of that happens, right? We all know political accusations go on. But look at some of the evidence that we know we have, okay? Let's start with the WhatsApp message from the president, or from Hunter Biden in 2017. He says, "I am sitting here with my father, and we would like to understand why the commitment has not been fulfilled. Now, is Joe Biden involved in this? According to the testimony the whistleblower gave to Congress, which quotes from texts that are allegedly pumped from Hunter Biden to the CEO of a Chinese fund management company. The message continues, tell the director, I would like to resolve this now before it gets out of hand. And now means tonight. The message goes on to say, I will make certain that between the man sitting next to me, his dad, and every person he knows, and my ability to forever hold a grudge, that you will regret not following my direction. I am sitting here waiting for the call with my father. Now, this is illegal, right? If it's true, it is illegal. You can't, as Hunter Biden, be using U.S. officials to scam people out of money in business deals. That's not okay. It's obviously illegal if the vice president at the time is involved in it. Now, to be fair, they are denying this is true. Hunter Biden attorney says WhatsApp message cited by Republicans is fake, and that's back in the end of June. But is it fake? I mean, look, of course Hunter Biden's attorney is going to say it's fake. We don't know for sure if it's true. We know the source of it was an IRS employee involved in the investigation. He's come out now. He seems credible, but you can say we don't believe him. I believe Hunter Biden's attorney instead. Okay, I mean, it's a pretty crazy claim, but all right, fine. But look at the way Democrats are coming after this message weeks after the supposed denial. This isn't someone who's saying, hey, this is a fake message. Why do you keep citing it? Listen to Goldman talking about this right in front of Congress.
Well, I want to focus, though, for a second on the WhatsApp that we went through. Mr. Shapley, in your testimony, your opening statement, you said that the text message, the WhatsApp message that we've been talking about, shows Hunter Biden discussing business with his father. Could you show me where in the text message it says anything about discussing business with Joe Biden?
You believe they're trying this stuff?
So if you'd like me to go through it, I mean, I can take time to review it if you'd like me to.
Well, I don't have the time, unfortunately, as you point out. I will tell you the only thing it says about it is that Hunter Biden was sitting with his father.
I mean,
it does not say anything about discussing any business.
I mean, is this... Can this be more humorous? I mean, it's ridiculous. First of all, that's not what it says. Again, he says, I am sitting here with my father, and we would like to understand why the commitment has not been made. Now, if he's just sitting there, why would he be thinking about what deal was coming down? He obviously was talking to him. We now have 20 on-record phone calls about where Joe Biden was calling in to Hunter Biden business meetings, including one where he actually went to the dinner. He sat at think about this for a second. What they're trying to make you believe is that Joe Biden went to a dinner with Hunter Biden and a bunch of his business associates, and at no point in the entire dinner did business come up. What human being has ever had an interaction like that? There's never a point ever where you just say, hey guys, so you work with Hunter, how is that? How's everything going? None of this came up, nothing at all. Even if he was innocent. I mean, it's more suspicious if it didn't come up, right? Because then you would be forcing yourself to actually hide this. You're saying, oh, well, guys, we can't talk about business because we don't want to go on record here. Obviously this comes up. Any human being, no human being has ever had an interaction, like an hour-long business meeting or meeting with business associates where business didn't come up. It's just not a thing, obviously. But again, that's speculation on my part, I will say. Why, though, if it's so fake, are they still going hey, he just said he was sitting there, when that's not at all what he was doing? Now, there are new Hunter Biden WhatsApp messages show him demanding $10 million from a Chinese energy venture and bragging that his family is the best at appeasing companies now missing billionaire chairman. It says, we are all saying the same thing, I hope, but please let's put this to bed tonight and sign officially tomorrow or anytime as late as you want. And get to work. I am tired of this, Kevin. I can make $5 million in salary at any law firm in America. If you think this is about money, it's not. The Bidens are the best I know at doing exactly what the chairman wants from this partnership. Let's not quibble over peanuts. Now, you might say, okay, look, you could say the money's coming into the Hunter Biden part of it and the other family members, but still we have no direct tie to Joe. Okay, well, that's not exactly true. Hunter Biden frequently covered family expenses, text revealed, because you would say, hold on a second, how do you make this tie? Well, if we happen to have one of the people involved in the case saying he was doing this over and over again, perhaps that would be enough. I don't know. For example, this is a Hunter Biden text from 2018. He's talking to his family. He says, I love all of you, but I don't receive any respect, and that's fine, I guess. Works for you, apparently. I hope you can all do what I did and pay for everything for this entire family for 30 years. It's really hard, but don't worry, unlike Pop, I won't make you give me half of your salary. The whole accusation, the money comes into the family, then it gets redirected to Joe when he needs it. There is a Hunter Biden text saying he gave half of his money to Joe Biden. Again, you can say this isn't proof. You can't throw him in jail based on this because it's coming from Hunter and not from Joe. But I will say this, that's evidence. That's evidence. We know there was a shakedown going from Hunter to these foreign companies. We know these foreign companies took the money and sent it to Hunter Biden, and we have Hunter Biden on the record saying that he was giving half of his money to Joe Biden. That's evidence. You can say it's not proof. You can say it's not airtight for a criminal trial, but you can't say there's no evidence. In fact, of course, if you go back and remember, Hunter Biden's business partner called Joe Biden the big guy in panic messages after the Post laptop story. Go back and read that story over and over again. They cite this. You remember the story from right before the election. These people are accessories to this at some level. They are certainly eyewitnesses. They were involved in these business deals. When we ask them what they meant by the big guy, they tell us they meant Joe Biden. They're on the record witnesses. They've talked about this. On the record witnesses is evidence. That's what it is. That's how you prove things in court. Here's another one. This is one you might not even know. In fact, a lot of people haven't seen this. But let's just say, okay, maybe Hunter Biden is texting things he's trying to hurt his father in that period of time. Maybe that could be. Still would be evidence there. But go on, when you have two Hunter Biden business associates texting each other about these deals, here's what they said. This is, again, what you would call evidence. This is what the text reads. Don't mention Joe being involved. It's only when you're face to face. I know you know, but they are paranoid. He responds, okay, they should be paranoid about things for real. Again, why would two business associates be texting these things back and forth to each other? It doesn't make any sense. We all know that 20 calls happened when he attended these dinners. It's obvious that business came up. And let's create a scenario here real quick for the media. Let's just say Jeffrey Epstein had a message that was intercepted that was going to somebody, I don't know, Ghislaine Maxwell, and it said, hey, Ghislaine, we need to get these younger girls here. I'm sitting in the room with Donald Trump. He really wants these young girls delivered fast. If you don't give it to me, I'm going to hold a grudge against you, and me and the man sitting next to me are going to ruin your life. Do you think CNN would run with that? Do you think they'd say there was no evidence that Donald Trump hooked up with young girls? It might not prove that he did that. Maybe Jeffrey Epstein was trying to hurt Donald Trump in this scenario. But certainly there would be evidence, and certainly they would not hold any reservations whatsoever. This is the same media that spent years and years and years and years on Russia with every little development every day being the walls are closing in and evidence has finally come to prove all of our accusations against Donald Trump. And that evidence never showed up. There's lots of accusations, not a lot of evidence. These messages between business associates outside of the relationship, all these things, many of which have never been denied, are absolutely evidence in this case. And the media they're scam artists for not pointing it out. This is like the guy who murders his wife and then goes on and Googles how to kill a wife and bury a 115-pound woman. And then the media's like, well, we don't have the body. We don't have any other evidence. All we have are these Google searches. And there's no evidence supporting that this guy did it. All he did was Google and Google and Google about burying women. So we have nothing. You have plenty there. It might not be the entire case, but you have plenty of evidence. It's absurd they're still in denial on this, and it shows exactly who these people are.